Namanda, namanda, namanda. Inyo nikko fu unmu-shige myomuan. But though the light of the sun is veiled by clouds and mist, beneath the clouds and mist there is brightness. It is not dark. The passage that I'm quoting from is found in the Shoshin Nenbutsu-ge, which is a verse that was written by Shinran Shonin. This is what we chant every morning here, Monday through Saturday, as part of our morning service, which, by the way, begins at 9 o'clock. Everyone is more than welcome to attend each and every morning service that we hold. And these are kinds of messages that have been given on Wednesday, Thursday, and some Fridays. But before we get into the part of the Shoshin Nenbutsu-ge that I quote from, I wanted to go back and review a little bit, because the structure of the way that Shinran Shonin writes the Shoshin Nenbutsu-ge is very, very interesting and moving at the same time. Shinran Shonin begins by informing us that because of the work of the vow of Amida Buddha, that with the single thought moment of faith, that we will be able to achieve the Great Awakening without worrying about having to lose, to sever our evil passions. We don't have to prove ourselves worthy of becoming a Buddha in order to become a Buddha. And Shinran Shonin expresses this by saying that it doesn't matter if you're foolish, it doesn't matter if you are wise, it doesn't matter if you are someone who slanders the Dharma, it does not matter whether you commit any of the 5 grave offenses. Each and every kind of person, when they enter into the vow of Amida Buddha, it is like all the various streams of water that enter into the ocean become the single flavor of the ocean. And in this, Shinran Shonin is helping to reveal to each and every one of us that regardless of what kind of distinction that we may make between ourselves, amongst ourselves, that the vow of Amida Buddha looks upon us in just one way, as a being who is worthy of life. Each and every one of us appeared in this world due to countless numbers of causes and conditions. And if we tried to count all of these different things, we would probably conclude that it was a miracle for us to have been born. For example, this is a somewhat humorous story, but my mother is well, this part's not humorous. My mother is an atomic bomb survivor. Because she survived, she really wanted to come to America to see the country that was able to defeat Japan. Fortunately, she had relatives in America already, so her parents, even though they were reluctant to have her go to America, they said, okay, because of the relatives, you go to them and they will take care of you, and then we will let you go. And they figured, she's our flaky little daughter, she'll come right back as soon as she sees what she wants to see. But unfortunately for them, fortunately for me, she decided to stay. And part of the reason why she wanted to stay was because she met my father. In talking to her about what her ideal mate would be, she said she wanted to marry someone like Cary Grant. someone that was tall, debonair. If you saw a photo of my father, he is the exact opposite of that. He is short, he is stumpy, and he was a relatively quiet man. And so, well, he didn't speak very, very much. And so I asked my mother, why did you marry him then, if he is so opposite of who and what you were looking for? And my mother replied by saying, because of his handshake. And I said, what? And she said, yes. When he shook my hand, he almost crushed it. I said, why would you marry someone who crushes your hand? That's an idiot. And she said, no, no, no. When I felt his handshake, I knew that he was someone that I could depend on. And I thought, wow, my birth hinged on that handshake. If he was nervous at all and he had sweaty, clammy hands, I would not have been born. If he went too far and broke her hand, I probably would not have been born. If he did what I thought would have been the sensible thing to do and not try to crush her hand, I probably would not have been born. Before the handshake could happen, my father had to know my mother's relatives who lived in America, and that just happened. And so my birth is not that easy an occurrence. If the atomic bomb were dropped somewhere else in Japan, my mother may not have come to America. If she did not have relatives living in America, her parents would not have allowed her to cross the ocean. If the family members of relatives of my mother did not know my father, I would not have been born. If my father did not shake my mother's hand, I would not have been born. And so these are just a few of the circumstances that surrounded my birth. And if any one of these things did not happen, I would not be here today. And so our lives are incredibly rare. It is astronomical, the odds of our even having appeared in this world. On top of this, to be able to hear a teaching that tells us that we do not have to worry about the distinctions that we make between and amongst ourselves. We do not have to prove ourselves worthy. We do not have to show that we are better. We do not have to worry about being less. Nam Myoho Nenbutsu is telling us, you are incredible just as you are, because there is nothing or nobody in this entire universe that will ever be able to replace you. That is just how special you are. It is why Shinran Shonin uses the image of the ocean, an ocean that receives each and every drop of water, because the ocean recognizes that the only reason why it can be as deep as it is, the only reason why an ocean can be as broad as it is because of each and every single drop of water. The ocean helps us to see that every drop, regardless of what river it may have come from, is equal. Every drop makes the ocean as great and as deep as it is. Shinra Shonin then follows with a description about Amida Buddha's light. And he tells us that Amida Buddha's light grasps each and every one of us, holds each and every one of us, and is able to tear through the darkness of our ignorance. This part, I think, is very, very important, because when we hear the image of an ocean, we think, okay, the ocean just takes everything in, and that's what it does. It doesn't care to distinguish between one or another. It just brings and absorbs everything. But this next line that Shinra Shonin shares with us is telling us that the light of Amida Buddha shines on each and every one of us as an individual. The light does not miss a single one of us, because Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Butsu, is letting us know that the Buddha sees each and every one of us, not just part of an ocean, but as someone special, unique, precious, and rare. I am not just part of a group. I am not just someone who participates in something. I am also a unique individual. An individual that the vow of Amida Buddha has promised to give up enlightenment itself for, if this single person cannot recognize and realize just how precious and rare that single life really is. It is why in the Tanisho passage that was quoted as part of the Dharma school message, Shinra Shonin expresses that the vow was meant for him alone. Because Namo Amida Butsu sees each and every one of us individually, not as, oh, I like this group, I'll just pick everyone, but sees me, sees you. And Namo Amida Butsu recognizes that each and every one of us is special. Unfortunately, the way that we tend to live our lives oftentimes falls very, very short of what this vow is trying to help us to see. We are constantly making distinctions. We are constantly separating ourselves from others. Shinra Shonin tells us that the vow of Amida Buddha sees all of us as equals and sees each and every one of us as special and important people. If we had the same kind of eyes as Amida Buddha, we would be so overwhelmed at how lucky we are at being a part of this special group of people, of beings, of things. We would be elated at being able to experience this moment, every moment, because these moments are so special and rare. But that is not how we tend to live our lives. It is not how I live my life. Instead of being overjoyed at how much I am constantly able to receive, I find myself complaining over and over and over again. This morning, coming to the temple, to be fair to me, it's about 15 miles away, so I have a lot of opportunities to experience traffic. But you have people merging left and right, trying to pass you on the right. You're going, well, the freeway is empty. You're supposed to pass on the left. Why do you go to the trouble of squeezing yourself between my car and the truck, going around the truck, and then cutting the truck off, and then getting in front of me? You could have just gone left and gone faster and then come back into my lane instead of doing this crazy maneuver that you're doing. I am complaining. Shoshin, the Shoshin Nenbutsu-ge, says that the reason why we cannot see the blue sky of faith, the heart that the Buddha shares with us, is because we are constantly covering it with clouds, with mist. I complain about this and that about my life. I complain about this and that about who I call idiots around me. And each and every time I do, there is another cloud. There is more mist. I am getting farther and farther away from seeing the blue sky that Namo Amida Butsu is constantly telling me is there. But in the passage that I quote today, Shina Shonin says, but whereas the light of the sun is veiled by the clouds and mists that we create, beneath the clouds and the mist, it is bright. There is no darkness. And this passage, as I mentioned before, took me the longest time to figure out. In my career as a BCA minister, I have been transferred from one temple to the next. I somehow find creative and unique ways to get myself into trouble. And because of this, the leadership of the different temples decide, we don't want to deal with this anymore. So they said, okay, you can go somewhere else now. But each and every encounter that I have had has helped me to understand Namo Amida Butsu just a little bit more deeply, more profoundly. And I find myself constantly appreciating all the experiences that I have had and the ones that I sometimes feel that I've been forced to have. And moving to the temple in Seattle, it is almost always overcast there. You rarely see the blue sky. And so I was there and I thought, this is the perfect place to try to understand what Shina Shonin meant by under the cloud, under the sky, there's clouds and mist, but it is bright, it is not dark. I kept thinking, if it's overcast, how can it be bright? And I would go to a coffee shop, because I don't want to promote any particular company, get a latte, which is my drink of choice, and I would sip, and it would warm me up, and would wake me up, and then I would think, you know, I know that it is the afternoon, even though I cannot see the sun. How am I able to distinguish nighttime from daytime when the clouds constantly cover the sky? And it is because the light of the sun is still shining. I am not blind in the afternoon. The sun is helping me to see the clouds. It is helping me to see the mist. Namo Amida Butsu has helped me to reflect and to understand. It has also helped me to have the courage to admit to myself when I am being an idiot myself. There are not idiots around me. I am the idiot that wants to see others as an idiot. I am making distinctions when I don't need to. I could easily think things like, how fortunate that this driver is so skilled that they are able to merge between cars without hitting my car. How wonderful it is that I have a car to drive in so that I can get from home to the temple in minutes as opposed to days. How wonderful that there is a freeway that allows me to get here by following one road, because the more roads I have to take, the more likely it is that I'm going to get lost and not get to where I want to go. I am missing all of these things because I want to spend all my time and energy finding idiots around me when the biggest idiot is sitting in my seat. Namo Amida Butsu helps me to see that I am the one that is creating the clouds. I am the one that is creating the mist. And even while I am noticing this, the light from the sun, the light that is Namo Amida Butsu, is still helping me to see myself as I truly am. And even then, I am being told that it does not matter what kind of river you might be. The ocean will accept each and every drop. Your life will make the ocean as deep as it is, as great as it is. That truth has never changed. Even while I may not be able to see the blue sky, the light that is Namo Amida Butsu continues to shine on me. It helps me to see the clouds and the mist that I'm constantly creating. But it is also a light that shines on me. It is a light that is helping me to see me as I truly am. And even though sometimes I am not pleased or happy at what I see, the light that is Namo Amida Butsu still calls out to me and says, but your life is special. Your life is precious and rare. That is why this light that is Namo Amida Butsu will never stop shining on you. Will never stop shining on me. In seeing the clouds and the mist, all I can do is to lower my head in humility and to say thank you for accepting me even while I have all of these limitations, while I have all of these pathological traits. Thank you for helping me to see that even though I treat my life less than a treasure, that you continue to hold me as one nonetheless. Namo Amida Butsu helps us to say, I'm sorry for taking so much for granted. It helps us to see that we are taking things for granted. And then it helps us to say, thank you. It helps us to rejoice and to express how lucky I am to be alive today. How fortunate I was to have been born. Namo Amida Butsu is who and what I am. And like Shinran Shonin before, he is helping me to understand and appreciate the fact that the vow that Amida Buddha made was meant simply